parking lot. Nobody is here.
It is 1:17 p.m.
This could be a bad sign.
Going heavy. Alright.
And the adventure begins.
Eli, we made it to our first spot that we stopped at for a view. Next, overlooking the river. Just as hot as I remember, and the climb was worse than I remember. It is 3 p.m. We've been hiking on the trail for a little over an hour. We are a quarter of the way to our campsite. Took our first snack break. I'm eating delicious almond joys. Alright, we're stopped here for another break. It is 4:10 p.m. We are 2/3 of the way to our campsite at Parker Meadow. What is it called again? Yeah, Parker Meadow. And as you can see, we are in the middle of nowhere. We have not seen any hikers or campers this entire time. Still waiting to get to the river crossing.
It's about 4:45 now, and I'm guessing we're about a half mile from our campsite. Had to stop and rest because my quadriceps are burning from all the uphill climbing. Ethan went ahead to the creek to start filtering water, so I'm just taking a little break to catch my breath.
Alright, it is now 4:53 p.m. We've made it to the main river where we fill up our water bottles. I just filled up mine, and now Dad is going to try to fill up his. Probably pretty close to the campsite, hopefully. Here we have Dad pumping water for the first time. This is the largest stream we have come across. So we came from over there, and then we're going to cross the stream and continue up that way. We have made it to the beautiful promised land of the campsite that Eli found 1 year ago. A little bit of trouble finding it, but we did it. Thanks to me remembering that there's a giant dead tree on the right side of the trail that marks where it is. Easy access to Swift Creek, and all secluded and hidden from the real trail. Thank you, Eli.
There's Ethan preparing his dinner.
Oh, I see. Wait, I see the non the oxygen package. Oh well, I guess it's gonna cook in there.
Ethan's delicious beef stew dinner.
Oh, you're supposed to stir it. Tiny package. There it is. Close it up, close it up.
It's 6:30, the sun is starting to go down. We have our tent set up, and we are just waiting for our mountain house dinners to rehydrate before we eat dinner. Here's my delicious pad thai with chicken.
Alright, we have Dad trying the first dinner of the camp out. What do you think?
Delicious. Chicken's nice and tender.
Let's get a look inside. There we have chicken pad thai, everyone. Time to try the beef stew. Ooh. It's very thick. That's nice. Alright, first bite. Let's try. Oh, something's a little still dehydrated, but tastes like it's actually really tasty. Yeah, and better than Campbell's. Yeah, I'm impressed.
It's just about 8 o'clock. The sun has gone down. Ethan and I are dead tired, so we're probably gonna climb into our sleeping bag soon and just call it a day. Looks like our bear canister was untouched overnight, which is good. It's a nice morning, not too cold. Did have some trouble getting to sleep last night, but I ended up getting probably a good solid 6 hours of good sleep. And the sun is just starting to come up right over there.
Good morning. It is 7:12. Already brushed up. Walking back to camp, and we will probably get started with breakfast, heating up some water, refilling the water bottles. Lots of pine cones here. But this was a good spot to camp for the night. Got pretty cold, so I'm glad I brought my sweatpants even though it was hot when we first went to sleep. There we have Dad drinking his water.
Got the jet boil going to make some oatmeal for breakfast. And Ethan is down by the creek filtering water for the day. Nothing better than a nice hot cup of coffee in the morning when you're out in the wilderness.
Well, it is 8:07 a.m. in the morning. Ooh, you can see my breath. It's actually not that cold. The sun's coming up and it's nice and warm. And we just finished breakfast and eating a little almond joy as a end of the breakfast snack. And I'm experiencing the joy of almond joys because it is nice and chilled and delicious. So we are in new territory. This is the burned forest. As you can see behind me, most of the trees are dead and cooked. Probably about, let's see, it's 10 o'clock now, so hour out from Parker Meadow. And we just passed a forester cabin. We have the creek that Ela and I crossed last time. It has now been filled with boulders to make it much easier to cross. So it's a lot safer, and there's also less water now. It's kind of just a trickling stream. Got Dad taking a snack break.
This is as far as we got on our adventure, a little past Mumford Meadows. Stopping to eat lunch, and we're gonna call it the end of the trip before we start heading back down the mountain. Having a delicious peanut butter burrito for lunch with a pack of tuna and some water. Surprisingly tasty when you're hungry. We're back to where we started this morning. This is where our tent was this morning. We're just refilling our water bottles and plan to hike downhill maybe another mile before setting up camp again, which will leave us about 3 miles to hike out tomorrow. Okay, so we were planning to set up camp about 3 miles from the trailhead to spend a second night, but we could not find a suitable campsite. So now we're going with plan B, which is just to hike all the way back out to the car. Got about 3 miles to go.
Well, we are at the final stretch of the hike. Quarter of a mile left to the parking lot. It is, let's see here. Can you see that? Oh. Exactly 4:59. Any last words?
I still think it was an easier day than yesterday, even though we walked, or will have walked 8 miles instead of just 4. A little tougher than I thought it would be.
Okay, for me, I think today was worse. My feet are aching, but happy to be going to the car soon. Goodbye, Trinity Alps.
Finally made it back to the parking lot.
It's 5:04.
Hiked 8 miles today. Both of us have feet that are very sore.
Oh, I made it.
There's the parking lot.
We are back.
Made it back. There's the car. So we made it back to the car a day earlier than we had originally planned because we couldn't find any flat ground to set up the tent for a second night of camping. Even though we only hiked 4 miles yesterday, it was all uphill, so I think today was a little easier. Thankfully, my knees have not hurt at all, which is something I was really worried about going into this. I'm glad I got to go on this trip with Ethan. His backpacking experience was very helpful. Would I ever do it again? Probably not. I think this was the most physically demanding thing I have ever done. Looking forward to going home, taking a shower, and sleeping in a nice comfy bed.